There is no longer any time to waste in Canada. We are at a crisis point. When you look at an immigration chart to this country, it's been absolute madness since COVID happened. All of a sudden, for 50 years, we'd consistently been allowing 100,000 people or less into the country. All of a sudden, it spikes in 2023, 1.2 million, 700,000, a million. It's absolute craziness when you look at the historical parallels to what's happening in Canada right now. We're talking about 3rd to 5th century Rome. We're talking about Argentina in the early 1900s. These are societies that, due to mass invasions, collapsed over a relatively short period of time. We're talking 10, 15 years, and Canada is already relatively far down that road thanks to the insane policies of Justin Trudeau. What I suggest as a fix is we create an immigration index, which takes into consideration the number of housing starts in Canada, the number of doctors who have availability, as well as our transit openings. If you study historically, these three key variables tell the story as to whether or not your country can integrate such a mass number of immigrants. People will point to the United States in the late 19th century, early 20th century as a success story. But when you look at those three variables, housing starts, doctors opening, and transit spots, it was clear that it was a society that needed to import demographics in order to build the country. Canada, as currently constituted, is much closer to Rome from the 3rd to 5th century or Argentina in the 1900s. And history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. We can definitively say that if Canada continues with these insane immigration policies, say nothing of what it does to our culture, to the Canadian spirit. We see it on the streets every day. Groups arguing over issues that have absolutely nothing to do with Canada when we have 2 million Canadians using food banks. We know definitively we do not as a country have the infrastructure to withstand this many people entering the country. Now, I know for Mark Carney and his elite buddies at Brookfield, who own $37 billion worth of real estate assets in Canada, who do all of the prefab housing in Canada, this is a boon for them. If you're a top 0.01%er, this has been an absolute economic boon unlike anything else. But if you're a middle or lower class Canadian, it is not an exaggeration to say these past 10 years have been a disaster. And unless we do something, they're just planning on making it worse. Canada needs to set up a formula that determines the number of people who can be allowed into the country on a yearly basis. Otherwise, we are going to continue to see the disintegration of this country until Canada, as we know and love it and our ancestors fought for, ceases to exist. As I earlier suggested, I'm saying what it should be is a combination of availability of doctors, housing starts, and transport openings. Those seem to be the three key variables that we see repeat time and time again. I'm open to suggestions, but something needs to budge, because when you look at a chart, post-COVID, it has been absolute insanity in this country. And if even in my estimation, by my calculations, only a couple more years of this, and Canada is going to cease to be a first world country. We demographically can't afford it. We culturally can't afford it. We're seeing all of these disputes hashed out on our streets. Our police officers continually taking sides, allowing body bags with bloody hands. Some of the most vile things you've ever heard being yelled through loudspeakers. And our police giving them the red carpet rollout. If you try to organize a rally among patriotic conservative Canadians, you're immediately painted as an extremist, as a threat to democracy. There are so many issues in Canada that are being exacerbated by this mass, unvetted, unfettered immigration, and we need to stop it, and we need to stop it now. This is not the type of thing where we can say, let's set up a 5-year plan. This needs to be done now. We need to hit the streets, we need to make our voices heard, and we need to let Mark Carney know the 800,000 combined new immigrants in Canada, first Q 2025, is not acceptable. You are destroying the lives of middle and lower class Canadians. And like I said, I know that his buddies at Brookfield, this is an absolute coup for. Who gives a fuck? Nobody gives a fuck about you and your buddies at Brookfield. This is about what's best for the Canadian people. I'm organizing a rally Saturday, September 13th. Take Canada Back, Parliament Hill at noon. If you're interested in attending, please reach out. Let me know. Noon, Parliament Hill, Saturday, September 13th. I'm so goddamn sick of foreign flags all over our country, all over our streets. We need Canadian patriots out to say we cannot continue to withstand this mass immigration that is absolutely destroying the fabric of this country. Please share far and wide to your friends. I'm at 10K followers on TikTok, and the Canadian government does not like distance. So if you're not, make sure you're following me on YouTube. Links in my bio. youtube.com/AppFightForCanada2025. Please make sure you're liking, sharing. I really appreciated this video. We need Canadian patriots out in the streets making our voices heard, because if we don't see a change in Canada, and we do not see a change in Canada quickly, the country that we know and love is going to be gone.